Alright guys, here we go. Today I have the Hulksta Engineering. First time trying this setup. Hulksta Engineering transmission for a Shafty truck, AX10. You could probably throw it in an SAX10. It's more intended for comp crawlers. But that's what we've got here. This is the bag. It comes organized. I just kind of tossed it all out here. Just to show you guys what comes with it and what we need and how this all goes together. So these are the parts we get. Like I said, when it comes in a bag, it's all neatly and individually wrapped and all that stuff. I didn't get a shot of that, but so what you get here are the two screws. These two screws are for the motor. The long screw that goes through the pin, that would be the top screw. And then the short screw that goes in the adjustment area. I'll show you guys that when I'm putting it together here. You also get this shaft. I believe this is made of titanium. It's got 3 pinholes in it for it's got through holes for your drive shafts on either end, and then this pin kind of in the middle is for a pin to put one of your gears on. You'll see that as I go through it. You get the 2 carbon fiber pieces. This is the one where the motor mounts on. This one is just for holding bearings on the other side. And they kind of sandwich together to hold all the gears. The XR10 gears go inside. They're not included, obviously. You have to have those separately. I've still got some old ones left over from upgrading my previous trucks, so I'm going to try them in this, see how they go. You also get this ring. It's not explained anywhere what that is. I assume it's to space the motor out a little bit. It might just be a key ring. I don't know. It comes in the same area as the sticker, so it might just be a keychain. We'll find that out in the future here once I start getting this together. You get 4 bearings for the gears. These are for the top 2 holes on each one, and those hold the XR10 gears. You also get 2 slightly larger bearings. These go for the titanium shaft and go in the bottom hole on each plate. And so on the top of what we've got here, we're going to need, according to the manufacturer Hulksta, we are going to need 6 M6 or M3 by 6 millimeter screws, similar to these ones, and we're going to need the XR10 gears that come either stock in the XR10. You could use the axial lightweight. You could use the RC 4-wheel drive. I'm going to try the stock ones because typically the stock ones are okay. The limiting factor with the XR10 gears, and the reason they always blew up, was low quality and small bearings. These bearings are considerably larger. I would assume better quality. So realistically, we shouldn't have the issue of them blowing up. I just noticed I've got an extra standoff here, so I'm not sure why there's an extra one. Maybe it's because you have to cross drill the holes for mounting yourself, and he figured maybe he threw in an extra one just in case you screw one up, so you don't have to try and source that yourself. I'm not sure, but there's an extra one either way. I'll take it. Why not, right? So that's the setup as it sits. I'm going to see if I can find some screws and some gears to complete this, and I'll be back. Alright, so these are all the gears I've got from various XR10 builds. I've swapped most of them out for RC 4-wheel drive gears. I think there's pretty much 2 complete transmissions here. So here's a picture that Hulksta posted that tells you exactly what gears you need. So based on that, I'm going to go through mine. We don't need the spool gears, so I'm going to pull those out, put those off to the side. We also do not need these smaller gears with the pin on them, so those are going to go as well. We will need the rest of it, I believe. This pinion we don't need, not right at this moment anyway. So we will need the rest of it. We're going to need this shaft with the pin in it and one of these gears on it, just like that. We're going to need this shaft, or this gear as well, the one that's non-pinned with the same gears. And I believe we need an extra one of these based on what I can see, and then this will go on to the titanium shaft with one of the pins as well. So it looks like, I'm not 100% sure, but it may take one more gear than the stock XR10 transmission, so you may have to get another gear even if you don't plan on, or even if you're just pulling apart an XR10 transmission or using old parts or whatever, you may need an extra gear. So I may need 2 more of those because I actually have 2 of these transmissions. I'll verify that as we go here. I'm not sure if that's true. I'm just looking at that picture I posted earlier. It looks like it does require that one, but that one might actually be included, or supposed to be included, with the XR10 stuff. So I may not have 2 full transmissions here as I initially thought, but we'll go with this, and at least you know what you need. You can see what you've got and figure out what you need. So let's I want to get to putting this together, but I don't have the screws that I need, the M3 by 6 mil, and it's New Year's Day, so pretty much nothing is open. The hardware store that has them won't be open today, and the normal big box hardware stores don't have M3 around here, so I may have to continue this tomorrow. So but that's basically what you need. You need the gears, you need the parts that he sent you, and then you need the M3 screws, and then you'll be good to go. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to press the bearings into these plates. On the smaller plate there have a recessed area for the bearings, so the 2 small bearings go in the top 2, and you want to put the flange in that little recessed area. They are a tight fit. That's a big bearing. That's not the right one. Very good tolerances. They're super tight fit. I'm actually going to have to go, I think, grab some pliers and press them in with some pliers. That's a good thing though. You don't want any slop in these bearings, otherwise you're going to end up having them explode on you or whatever. So there we go. Pressed in there. That one's not quite flush. There we go, nice and flush now. You can see right there, nice and flush, right in there. And we'll press one of the big bearings. We'll put it the same way into the bottom hole here. That one's pretty tight as well. Really important part here when you're pressing these bearings in is to not get the pretty carbon fiber all mucked up. Alright, there we go. So that one's in there too. So this is not the motor side. This one has a larger hole there and a larger hole there, just so you can put your driver through it to adjust the motor. This one, the smaller holes for the motor. So on this one, oh, maybe I want to put that. Okay, no, that's fine. Okay, so on this one, the recessed areas are actually the inside of the plate. So I'm going to take my pin, the titanium pin that's provided, and I'm going to put one of my cross pins in there, and I'm going to put this bearing on there, or this gear on there, and that fits nice and tight, almost no slop, and put that through this bearing. Again, tight tolerances. That's a good thing, because then you know you're not going to have any issues. Okay, so there's the titanium rod through that plate with the gear on it. So that's good to go. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put, which gear do we need next? We need this gear next. And this one with the pin, with the cross pin, it's going to go in and contact with the bottom gear there. Just like that. And then we're going to put this other one like this, and that's how it works. All 3 gears are now meshed, and we'll get the other plate in there and get it all mounted up. It's that easy. And we just throw the other bearings in this one, slide it on there, put the standoffs in with the screws through them, done like dinner. Okay, so it's all mushed together here now. So now we just take this screw, and you make sure you go from the outside again, where the hole is larger, so that you can get the pinion in there. and we'll throw the long screw that's included with it. Goes through there. Again, these holes in the carbon fiber, good tolerances, and we want to use the one that we did not cross drill. You can cross drill them all if you don't want to make the error of putting the wrong one in there. It really makes no difference if it's cross drilled. For this purpose, the strength is not really going to be a concern. We just run that right through there. These cross braces are all threaded as well, so they do take a little bit of effort and throwing stuff around. I'll film it later. Alright, so there we have it. I did have a slight issue with building it, and that was that the top gear interfered with the spacer there. So I just had to shave off. I just picked one of the flat spots and kind of shaved off in the middle there, but now it works fine. I'm not sure if maybe I did something wrong or what the deal is. I didn't see anything on the instructions thread that indicated that you had to do anything like that, but just wanted to show you guys it working. So I got it hooked up to my drill here, and just like that. It is a little bit jerky, but I think that's just because it's rubbing on those spacers, and I'm sure those will wear in. It's actually a really smart idea too for the how he set up the gears, because he's got the cross bolts for these nylon spacers. Yeah, see, that one might be touching just a little bit as well, but that'll work in with time. With just a couple of runs, I'm sure it'll work in. But anyway, these cross, depending on where you drill the cross holes, it's none of the gears are in the center except for this top one, which you're not using for mounting anyway. So you can run an M3 screw right through this and nut it on the top. You may want to use a low profile nut. Yeah, I don't think it's really necessary as long as your screw is the right size. So if you mount it like this, you can run the screw up from the bottom and nut it on top. Same with this one, if you go that way or that way. As long as you drill your cross holes in the middle, then you shouldn't have any issue with interference on the gears. So that's a pretty good feature there. I wouldn't have considered that when designing this. So but yeah, there it is. So it just sits like this. You can mount it either way. You can mount it this way, but then the motor is higher up, so it's not really ideal. Or you can mount it this way, slightly wider that way. I think it's another centimeter wider. Once the motor is installed with a 20-tooth pinion is how he measured it. So but yeah, that's the Hulksta transmission. Overall impressions are pretty good. It's considerably smaller than the stock one. I don't have a stock one with me right now. They're all in my trucks right now. So, but it's quite a bit smaller, quite a bit lighter. From what I've seen in the other builds, you save about 30 plus grams on this. If I use aluminum hardware, I'm sure it would be even less. But the motor just sticks on there, and this is the rear drive shaft, so that you can position it forward as far as you can in the truck. And then the rear drive shaft pins on there, the front drive shaft there. You could even stuff electronics in here if you want, like stick it to the side of the motor right above this gear or above this pinion shaft, whatever, and keep it all nice and clean and out of the way. Yeah, that's the Hulksta transmission, Hulksta Engineering, right there. Looks like a wicked awesome product. Can't wait to drop it in one of my trucks and give it a test.